All right, John, why don't you go ahead and show me how I can find accessible decks that are already in my library?
Sure. So once you have your folders and you have decks that are within your folders that you've taken from the store, the Boom store, and you moved them to your personal library, you'll notice I have decks here, like the Texas flag deck that has a little green visual button, a little green auditory button, and then a grayed out motor button. What that means is that this deck is appropriate for kids who have visual impairments, for auditory impairments, but it may not be appropriate for students that may be switch users or may have motoric impairments. And I have the ability to simply turn these filters on and off. So let's say I do have a student that is visually impaired, auditorily impaired, and may have some motoric involvement, I can turn all of them on, and then it will show me decks that has complete accessibility for a student that may have a lot of needs. I can really hone in and find exactly what they need. Maybe I don't need motoric. I can turn that off, and again, it just gives me more accessibility. Um, this is great for teachers that are trying to find materials that are grade level specific, standard specific, and accessible for kids. So they know that the kids have access and they don't have to keep modifying access for the students. Boom has done a great job at building these accessibility tools. So as the content is being prepared and built, accessibility, with accessibility is in the forefront of what the publishers are thinking of as they build the content.
Yeah, and if a teacher is looking for something to add to their library, can I also see these filters in the store?
Absolutely. So when you're in the store, I can go in and at the bottom, I have the accessibility capabilities so I can turn on and off decks. And as I search for decks, these filters will help find decks. So with Passport, for example, if all these filters are turned off, meaning I'm not looking, everything is completely wide open right now. I have access to over 90,000 decks. As I turn these filters on, I will lose some of those 90,000 decks because not all decks are designed to be fully accessible. But you can see just from turning those filters on, and right now I'm searching for numbers. I have decks that are accessible, and I can also search by bundles or by other decks that are accessible as well. So you have that ability.
And of course, turning on that passport can really narrow it down as well too.
Yeah, once Passport's turned on, then it even becomes more narrowed down. So I'm focusing on if I'm a Passport subscriber, I now have decks that are vetted, that are accessible, that are content specific and standard specific that I can pull up. So you can
Yeah,
take using the filters that we have, not only the the filters, the standards filters, as well as the subject filters and grade filters. I can find a specific deck for a middle school student that's focusing on number alignment and get very specific to their needs or what I want to instruct towards.
yeah, that's fantastic for our exceptional learners that we are really trying to find something that works for them.
Again, I think giving teachers the tools and having them teach and not have to create will create content for them. They can just keep teaching and keep moving the kids along and getting out of that cyclical motion of I got to create content, I got to create content. We'll create the content. They just have to use it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you, John.
Thanks.